Hello and welcome everybody. So today we are going to talk about Vlookup and Hlookup functions in Excel. So these two functions will help you in searching for specific data in Excel. So we are going to put two examples which can help you understanding the function more. As you can see on the left side, we have created one sheet which is showing the three different currencies: US dollar, Great Pounds, and Euros. And on the right side, we have this sheet which is showing some calculations, and we are going to use the function VLOOKUP to search automatically for these rates and insert it here in this sheet. So to begin with, on the left side of this row, we have select currency. So we're going to use the function. So we're going to let the user to select the currency from a drop down list. So in order to do that, you need to go to data and then data validation and choose type of data is list, and selecting the list that we need to select from, and then OK. So now you can see the user can select between the three different currencies. Next, we are going to use VLOOKUP to allow the table to compare the values and insert the rate here automatically. So the function is equal VLOOKUP start brackets and then which value you need to compare. So lookup value means which value we need to compare. So we know that this is the value we need to compare. So it's E9. So when I select this cell, automatically E9 comes here. After that, you need to insert the comma and then table array. So the table array that we are using is this table. So simply we need to select this table. So it's A3 until B5. Next is the column index. It means after my VLOOKUP search and find the data from this line, which value you need to enter from the second line. So each column is indexed. So the first column is indexed as number 1 and the second column is indexed as number 2. So in our example, we need the data to come from number 2. So 2, comma. After that, we have true or false. So if we need the value to be approximate or exact, so in here we need it to be exact because it will compare the text to text. It's not any numbers. So we have to choose false. As you can see, because it's GBP from the left side, so the value is coming in here automatically. If I change to US dollars, so the rate is coming to 1. So how we can use this table? For example, if you are using this as inserting the value, so this is 3 US dollars equal, so we multiply the input with the rate and we get $3. So if I change here to pounds, so automatically the rate is changing by the VLOOKUP function, and it's transferring the figure to dollars. The same thing for euros. Now that we finished the VLOOKUP, which is the vertical lookup function, we are going to do another example for horizontal. So I'm going to use the same values, but change the same table to horizontal way. As you can see now, I have changed the table to horizontal and the values here are messed up. So what we need to do here is just to change the function to horizontal lookup, compare the same value, selecting the new table. So I'm going to adjust the table. So it's now A3 until C4. and the rest will stay the same because the indexed row is number 2 and the value is false if we did not get any match, so it will return false. As you can see, this is again messed up because we changed the table, so I'm going to adjust that as well. So now the function is working again with horizontal check, and previously it was working with vertical check. So that is how it works. Now we are going to make it a little bit more complicated. We're going to create an array, which is a two-dimensional table, and we are going to use both functions to search for a value in that table. So I'm going to create a 4x4 table, and we are going to use this function in another example. Now that we created this 4x4 table, so it's made of days and made of months, we are going to use the Vlookup and Hlookup to search for a specific cell in this table. So how this works: first, the Vlookup will search for one horizontal line, and then in the horizontal line your Hlookup search for the specific data, or the other way around. So you can start by horizontal and then continue to vertical. So we will do this example for you to understand. We are going to do it on a separate way, and then we combine the functions all together. We are going to assign this cell to be our check value, and the type of this value is normal number, and we will start with the Vlookup function. We will search for this value, and the table we are going to use is this table. The index we are using is number 2, and the return value is false. We see here a strange number because the formatting is different. So what we need to do is format the cell and change this to date, because we are using dates. So now we can see it works. So if I select 4, it's searching for this value 5 and 6. So the Vlookup function is ready. So I'm going to call it here Vlookup, so we can know that this is the function we created. And below it, I'm going to create the Hlookup. So in the same way, we will search for this value, and we are using this table, the index number 2 and false. And of course here it should be a different value, so we're going to create another table, call it month. So this is date, day, and month, and the comparison here should be with this value, so it's going to be C12, which is the cell below it. Now inserting June, for example, I got this value. I need to change the data type to date, and I should get now the correct figure. So if I go to June, now it's getting the first value. If I choose July, I'm getting the second value. So now both functions are working, and now we will see how we will mix them together. Now you can see in the function of Vlookup, we have number 2, which is the index of the column. So now number 2 is this column. So we need some way to let this value change when we change the Hlookup function. So as you can see, the Hlookup function always returns the date, what we need to do for this function is to return a number, and we can use this number as index number in the Vlookup function. This is very easy to be done. One way of doing it is to create a new table or row. So this is index number 1, index number 2, index number 3, index number 4. So we need this function now to return this value. So what we need to do is to increase our table search, and then we index this to be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now you can see we got this value because the cell is formatted as date. We have to change it to back to number. Decimal point 0. So now it's returning 2. So when I go for August, I'm getting 3. September, so I'm getting 4. So that's it. So now it's very easy. You just need to copy the Hlookup function and replace your index in the vertical lookup to the function that we created. And that's it. So we got this error because our Vlookup function was limited to 1 line. So we need to host all the cells in the function. And for the counting to be correct, so the vertical table should count from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we select only the these 4 columns. Or if you received error this way, so what you can do, because the Hlookup now is getting back the value number 4, but the Vlookup is actually searching in number 5. So what you need to do is just add here +1. So anytime the cell shift is recorded, and now we got the right value. So now I have this formula, which is by creating day and month, I get the search in this table. So let's try it. So 3 of July. This is changing to 3 of July, and I don't need this function because it's already embedded in the upper one. And that's it. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope this video benefited you, and hope to see you again in future videos.